If you're a dog owner, you know the kitchen is pretty much the heart of the home, but it can also be a total minefield of hidden dangers. So, in this explainer, we're going to give you the essential knowledge to navigate those pantry perils and keep your best friends safe and sound. Oh man, we have all been there, right? You're just trying to make a sandwich, and those eyes are just locked on you. It is so tempting to share a little piece. But as we're about to see, that one little well meaning gesture can be a really big mistake. So, why? Why can we eat something that's so dangerous for them? Well, it all comes down to basic biology. A dog's body just isn't built like ours. They don't have the same enzymes to break things down, which can turn what we think of as a loving treat into, well, a dangerous toxin. And understanding that difference is really step one. All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the biggest culprits, the most wanted, if you will. Then we'll dig into some hidden dangers, learn how to spot distress signals, bust a few common myths, and then wrap it all up with a clear emergency plan and some safe, healthy alternatives. Okay, first up, let's meet the most notorious offenders. These are the foods that are responsible for the most poisonings every single year. Mainly because they're so common in our homes, they're incredibly potent, and they can act fast. And our number one most wanted fugitive is, you guessed it, chocolate. The crime scene is your kitchen counter. Its weapons of choice, theobromine and caffeine. These are stimulants that a dog's system just cannot handle, and they can lead to everything from a bad stomachache to some really severe heart issues. Now, here's what's absolutely crucial to understand. It's not just about if your dog ate chocolate, it's all about what kind of chocolate. So for a 20-pound dog, it takes over 3 ounces of milk chocolate to cause real problems. But look at baking chocolate. Wow, less than half an ounce is a toxic dose. Just remember this, the darker the chocolate, the bigger the danger. Next on the list are grapes and raisins. And what makes these so terrifying is we don't even know exactly why they're so toxic, but we know what they do. They cause swift and devastating kidney failure. The danger level here is extreme because there is simply no known safe amount. For some dogs, a single grape can be catastrophic. It's just not worth the risk. And now for the stealthy assassin, xylitol. This artificial sweetener hides in plain sight. It's in so many sugar-free products, gum, candy, baked goods, even some peanut butters. For a dog, it causes a massive, rapid release of insulin, which makes their blood sugar just plummet. It's incredibly dangerous and can lead to liver failure. This is why you have got to become an expert at reading ingredient labels. Okay, let's move beyond those obvious culprits and take a walk into the pantry. These are the common ingredients we cook with every day that pose a more subtle, but honestly an equally serious threat. So, I want you to meet the allium family. We're talking onions, garlic, chives, leeks. These guys have compounds that actually attack and damage a dog's red blood cells. And it doesn't matter if they're raw, cooked, or even in that powdered form you shake into soups. Over time, this damage can lead to some really serious anemia. A couple of other pantry perils to keep a close eye on are macadamia nuts. They're uniquely toxic to dogs and can cause scary symptoms like weakness and tremors, and avocados. With avocados, you've got a double threat. The pit is a major choking hazard, and the fruit itself contains a toxin called persin, which can cause vomiting and diarrhea. And hey, it's not just solid food. That cup of coffee you left on the table, or that glass of wine, huge problem. Caffeine can cause hyperactivity, even seizures, while alcohol can severely depress their nervous system. And don't forget about super salty or fatty snacks. Those can lead to sodium poisoning or a really painful condition called pancreatitis. Okay, so now we know the culprits. But what happens if an accident actually happens? Let's talk about decoding the distress signals. Knowing what to look for can literally save your dog's life. So how can you tell? Your dog can't just come over and tell you what's wrong, but their body will give you some pretty clear clues. The symptoms usually fall into 2 big categories, so let's break them down. The very first signs are almost always going to be stomach-related. This is your dog's body trying its best to get that toxin out, so you need to be on the lookout for vomiting, diarrhea, or a lot of drooling. They might also completely lose their appetite or show you they're in pain by whining or standing with a kind of hunched over back. Now, let's talk about the more serious warning signs, the ones that affect the nervous system. Stumbling around like they're dizzy, having tremors, or God forbid, full-blown seizures, these are red alerts. Same goes for extreme restlessness, sudden weakness, or if they collapse. A quick tip, check their gums. If they're pale, that's a sign of a critical problem. Any of these symptoms mean you get to an emergency vet immediately. You know, there is so much bad information floating around out there, so let's just clear the air and separate the facts from some really dangerous fiction, because knowing the truth is what makes you a prepared and powerful pet parent. And this brings us to what is probably the most dangerous myth of all. Oh, just a little bit won't hurt. This slide just perfectly shows why that thinking is so flawed. The hard truth is, for really potent toxins like xylitol or grapes, there is no safe amount. Even a tiny taste can be enough to cause organ failure. It's a gamble you never, ever want to take. Okay, deep breath. An accident has happened. This is not the time to panic. A calm, quick response is absolutely everything. Let's walk through the exact steps you need to take. Here is your 3-step emergency plan. Step 1, assess. Figure out exactly what they ate, how much of it, and when it happened. If you have the wrapper or packaging, grab it. And this is so important. Do not try to make them vomit unless a professional tells you to. Step 2, call. Get your vet, an emergency clinic, or a poison hotline on the phone right away. And step 3, follow. Do exactly what they tell you to do. This simple protocol saves lives. You know, the best emergency is always the one that never happens in the first place. So let's shift gears from reacting to preventing. Let's get you equipped with the tools to create a truly safe space for your dog. I like to think of this as your hero's utility belt. First, have the poison hotline number saved right in your phone's contacts. Keep some fresh hydrogen peroxide and activated charcoal on hand. But, and this is a big but, only use them if a vet tells you to. And maybe the most powerful tool of all, a rock-solid leave it command. And let's end this whole thing on a really positive note. You can absolutely still share snack time with your dog. You just have to do it smartly. Swap out the dangerous stuff for things like blueberries, carrot sticks, or a little bit of plain cooked chicken. The key here is to put it in their bowl, not to feed them from the table. This stops them from begging and, more importantly, keeps you in complete control. And remember, all this knowledge isn't meant to make you scared. It's meant to empower you. Being prepared, knowing the risks, and having a plan, that is the greatest expression of love you can give. It's the single best tool you have to protect your best friend.